Hello everyone. In this tutorial, I'll be walking you through a step-by-step guide on how to set up your Windows computer for web development, specifically for Nest.js, Node.js, basically for any general JavaScript web development. But stay with me. I know there are a lot of ways of doing this online, but this particular tutorial is going to be your most recent or your latest way of setting up your Windows computer for web development, because I'm going to show you how to install Git, how to set up WSL, which is the Windows subsystem for Linux. I'm also going to show you how to set up VS Code and ensure that it works appropriately. So let's go get into it. Okay, so here we are going to launch PowerShell. You can also do this with command prompt. So yeah, I will launch PowerShell, and so all you have to type in here is WSL dash dash install, and that is going to set up WSL, initialize it, and also it is going to start by trying to download and install Ubuntu as because that's the default distro that is being used with WSL. But here I had an issue with the Windows store, which was preventing the installation of Ubuntu to go through. So all I needed to do was to launch the Windows store, which I have not done since I installed this. I reinstalled Windows. So once I launched the Windows store and after connecting to the internet, I moved on to search for Ubuntu. The Windows store took a little long while to uh, update itself. So here I'm updating the Windows Store. Once the installation was done, all I needed to do was to search for Ubuntu from the App Store, the Windows App Store, and then start the installation of Ubuntu from there. You can also type in WS. I'll leave the command in the description. You can also type WSL dash dash install dash D dash Ubuntu or any other form of distro that you want to install, and you can use that distribution instead of Ubuntu here. So from here, go to the start menu and you'll find Ubuntu. Click on that, and then from there you have to set up your username and your password. Make sure that you set a password that you remember, because you will end up using it quite often. So here I'm finding I don't know, let me try and see. I've been trying to type in a very simple password and I'm facing some issues. Hopefully I'll get past that. And after a couple of failed attempts, yay, we did it. It worked. We got our simple password. So let's open the App Store one more time, and from here let's search for Windows Terminal in the search bar. So it's going to be the first search results. I think that's it. Yeah, here it is. So click on get to install it, but if you have installed it, then you will not see that. Once the installation is complete, or you have open there, we will click on open. Then this will launch the command prompt interface of Windows. But we want to set our default terminal to the WSL terminal that we downloaded earlier. So to do that, we'll click on this here and then select Ubuntu, and you see that it will launch us into our WSL interface. So from here, we want to make Ubuntu the default terminal when you launch Windows terminal. And so we just move to settings, and from there we change from Windows PowerShell. So just click on Ubuntu and then click on save. So from there, close that, and we're going to run sudo apt update to install the recent updates for the Linux system. That is if I manage to enter my password correctly, because I don't know what was wrong with me and passwords today. Well, this update will take a couple of seconds, so um, let's wait out for that. Once the update is done, we are going to install a couple of um, packages. We are going to install Git and ZSH, not ZSL. If I manage to type that right, ZSH. So hit enter and give it a couple of seconds to run through. Now we need to configure our terminal to make it look better. So we are going to install ZSH, which is a configuration manager for ZSH. It helps install themes and plugins specifically for ZSH. And to install that, all we have to do is to go to this website. The link will be in the description. We'll copy the installation code and paste it into our terminal. Once the installation is done, we will select Y and here to accept the and make ZSH our default terminal. Then we'll hit enter and provide our password. And your terminal looks something like this. It means that the installation was successful. And we will now move on to install a couple of plugins. One of them is ZSH Auto Suggestions. The other is ZSH Syntax Highlighting. So we just move to their GitHub pages and copy the installation code and paste into our terminal. All of these links will be provided in the description of this video. So from there, we'll open the configuration file of ZSH with Nano. And then one of the first things we are going to do is to change the theme. I like using the Bira theme, but if you are not comfortable with that, you can find the available themes on the link to ZSH website. And we will also add our install plugins here to the plugin sections of the ZSH configuration file. The configuration file by entering Ctrl and X and select Y to save, and then relaunch your terminal, and you should have something like this. Now let's install Node Version Manager. So we move on here, we search for NVM, and Node Version Manager, which is NVM, is a software that helps us to manage our node versions. If you work on a lot of node projects, you will notice that each package, each project needs a specific node version to work, and NVM helps with that. So we just copy the installation code, paste it into our terminal and hit enter. We'll have to make sure that we add this configuration file to our ZSH configuration file so that we can have access to NVM when we relaunch this terminal. And to do now, we have to nano again into ZSHRC and look at the very far end of the configuration file. You should see this line at the end, which means that yes, the installation was complete and your configuration has been updated. So from here, when you relaunch your terminal, you realize that you still have access to NVM by typing NVM-V to list the current version. And from here, we can move on and install our node, which is what we have been preparing to do for a while now. You just type nvm install --lts, and LTS stand here for long-term support. This will install the latest version of Node, and we can verify that by entering Node-V into our terminal. Now let's move on to VS Code website to install VS Code. Select Windows, and it will take a while to download. Once your download is done, go to your download folder and then run the installation. During the installation process, go through normally, but select all the boxes that are available and complete the installation. In our next video, we will dive into setting up a local database for your Nest.js or Node.js projects. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss that. See you in the next one.